Jon Stewart says he has an optimistic outlook for our country's future after the presidential election. The former Daily Show host gave us his thoughts last week.
Donald Trump is a reaction not just to Democrats, to Republicans. He's not a Republican. He's a repudiation of Republicans, but they will reap the benefit of his victory in all of their cynicism and all of their, I will guarantee you, Republicans are going to come to Jesus now about the power of government.
We have more from that interview today with a focus on his nearly 17 years as host of The Daily Show. An oral history documenting those years is out today. The Daily Show, the book, was written by Chris Smith. He highlights a satirical show's rise with Stewart at the helm. Over the 16 years, how did the show evolve? What did it become that it was not at the beginning?
I mean, in truth, I think the evolution of the show, we just became better at doing it.
This is The Daily Show with Jon Stewart.
What we tried to develop was a decent internal barometer of what worked for the show and how well we could execute it.
It is Bush by 225 votes. So as you can see, it's never going to end. I'm going to work on my Obama. Are you ready? Here we go. Yes, we can. What an entrance! An escalator down. Now, I haven't seen an entrance that majestic since my friend met me at the Gap after grabbing an Orange Julius.
So, you know, you could never look at a piece and go like, I don't know if this is Emmy-worthy. And we're an Emmy award-winning show.
Yes, indeed.
You had to try and keep your own morality and integrity as the beacon for where you wanted the material to go. I have one simple goal.
Yeah.
I want you to admit that there is such a thing as white privilege. That's all I want.
I knew you would.
Is it the best extension of your talent?
I believe it was the best extension of what I know how to do. And perhaps I didn't necessarily know that at the time.
But you were running the show, too. I mean, you were there in the trenches.
I wouldn't refer to them as, you know, if you have a craft services table, generally that is not trench.
So, Chris, what did it become? It became, for all of us, a kind of cultural event.
Yeah, and that's interesting.
More than a show.
Yeah, it's easy to forget in 2016 what the media world looked like in 1996, 1997, 1999, where Comedy Central was, you know, still kind of a sketchy proposition.
We're going to have an honest, open debate between the President of the United States and the one man we believe has the insight and the cojones to stand up to him.
One of the pivotal segments on the show that we were able to do through, you know, the Bush versus Bush back in the 2003. He knows this way better than I do, by the way.
Mr. President, is the idea to just build a new country that we like better?
We will tear down the apparatus of terror, and we will help you to build a new Iraq that is prosperous and free.
I don't think our troops ought to be used for what's called nation building.
People used to come up to me in the news business. How do you guys find the clip of the guy contradicting himself, you know, from 5 years ago? And I go, oh, we have a TiVo. We record it, and then we go back and we search for it.
But the idea of what The Daily Show became was not something that was banging around in your head when you took this job. Or was it?
Well, what was banging around in my head was, is there a better way to execute public affairs comedy that means something to me? Yeah. Can I express my comedy about things that I care about in a way that's entertaining enough that I won't get fired? And it could get rejected,
so
but at least
if I go down, I'm going to go down doing it my way.
That's right. I'm going to go down the way I feel like I'm going to do it in the way that I think is the best iteration of my abilities. And if that goes down, you know, I can bartend.
What? Yes, you could.
What they found early on was a tone.
It's every reporter's dream to spend.
They found a tone in a piece Steve Carell did with John McCain in late 1999.
The best way to get to a presidential candidate's bus is through his wife.
Carell is a world-class improviser,
Let's do a lightning round.
The difficulty in this is you've got world-class improvisers working with civilians who don't know they're in an improv.
Senator, how do you reconcile the fact that you were one of the most vocal critics of pork barrel politics, and yet, while you were chairman of the Commerce Committee, that committee set a record for unauthorized appropriations?
And McCain freezes. There's a deer in the headlights moment.
And then what do we have to do at that point? We let you go. It's catch and release.
I'm just kidding.
Because we have to undercut it with a laugh.
I don't even know what that means.
So it's that idea of, I got you, and here's my one moment, and I'm going to, with a scalpel, go at the crux of your identity as a politician and expose it for everybody to see. The world is demonstrably worse than when I started. Have I caused this? One of the difficulties of this is this has been given a greater place in the discussion and a larger role in the discourse than is warranted. And once that started to happen, I think you began to question if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
Do you think that you can find something that's equally right for you again? Or do you just simply hit a home run there? You found the perfect place for you, and it was 17 years of...
Yes. It was a gift that I was fortunate enough to be graced with for all that time and to be in contact with all those incredible people, but I don't expect to find that again. This is just, it's a conversation. This show isn't ending. We're merely taking a small pause in the conversation. There's a difference between satisfaction and joy. This gave me great satisfaction, and it gave me great confidence, but joy, driving a couple of knucklehead kids home from school that I get to sit and listen, joy.
God, that's so beautifully said. There is a difference between satisfaction and joy. I just love him.
Yeah.
You really feel his absence, Charlie, during these times, don't you?
Indeed. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there was nothing quite like him. A lot of people did it very well.
Yeah.
And we see them and we show their work here during the political year.
Yeah.
But Jon had a special place.
He did. That catch and release, I forgot those. It's no fun when you're on the other side of catch and release, but it sure is fun to watch.
What's also amazing about The Daily Show is they assemble such an extraordinary collection. Stephen Carell and Stephen Colbert. And so many others. John Oliver, so many others.
Samantha Bee.
Especially Samantha Bee. You can see my full conversation with Jon Stewart tonight on my PBS program.